Hello friends, today again I am before you with the model answer of yesterday's question. If you remember, yesterday we gave a question from socio-political philosophy, and we told that today we will be telling or discussing and giving the model answer for that. So now let us see what was the question and what can be the model answer for that. Now the question is distinguish between positive and negative liberty. Now this is the question. Now, see, these kind of questions are basically open-ended questions and direct questions. Now, but interestingly, in these kind of questions, there is a very good scope to excel. And if some intelligent student is there, he will uh, not only distinguish between positive and negative liberty, but also try to give some examples from Indian Constitution provisions, some Supreme Court cases. He will also quote definitely some political thinkers who have given various views regarding this. So all those things have to be given to make your answer very impressive for the examiner. So let us see now. Because this question is very simple. You can straightway make two tables and then distinguish tell what is positive liberty and negative liberty, and then you can close your answer. But then you will be leaving a number of things which can make this answer very good answer. So now let us see what can be the uh, what can be a model answer or good answer. Uh, I mean, incorporating various things which we have already discussed in answer writing strategy for philosophy. This we will have to reply in about 300 to 325 words. And I keep on telling, please do have the adaptability to change these answers as per requirement in actual exam. So now let us see what can be the model answer for this. Now, distinction between positive and negative liberty, famously articulated by Isaiah Berlin. Now, he is one political scientist, modern political scientist, who distinguished in a very formal and systematic manner between positive and negative liberty. And the book was Two Concepts of Liberty, 1958. Remains foundational to political theory and constitutional discourse. I keep on telling you have to refer political scientists or philosophers or thinkers and also their works also, because that will show that you have depth in knowledge, and I mean that is required because that will help you in fetching better marks. Now, then we will try to, define and distinguish between these two liberties along with examples and references also. Now, negative liberty refers to absence of external interference, where individuals are free to act as they wish, so long as they do not infringe on others' rights. It reflects the classical liberal tradition of thinkers like Hobbes, Locke, and J.S. Mill. So these are basically thinkers who promoted negative liberty, and they have a liberal approach, libertarian approach. So focusing on protection from coercion, particularly from the state. So this is their Hobbes, Locke, and J.S. Mill. Basically, they focused on protection from coercion, uh, particularly from the state and state authorities. So that was the main focus of negative liberty. Now let us see in Indian sense or Indian context what is it. In India, this form of liberty is safeguarded through Article 19(1), which guarantees freedoms, some various kinds of freedoms. If you have gone through the Constitution of India, you will understand that 19(1) provides various kinds of freedoms, which includes speech, movement, association, etc. So this is basically uh, an example of negative liberty. Now, Supreme Court, now we'll quote some Supreme Court cases also, relevant cases. In Menka Gandhi versus Union of India in 1978, read Article 21 expansively, holding that personal liberty cannot be curtailed except by a fair, just, and reasonable procedure, thus reinforcing negative liberty. So, see, on the one hand, Article 19 1 provides various provisions. Then Article 21, right to life and liberty. This also has been interpreted by Supreme Court in such a way that this has become an important article as an example for negative liberty, because it has been now expanded uh, with Supreme Court cases that it cannot be curtailed, or personal liberty cannot be curtailed except by a fair, just, and reasonable procedure. And what is fair, just, and reasonable will be decided. I mean, if it is contested, will be decided by high courts and Supreme Courts. So this is now negative liberty. Now, positive liberty, let us see. By contrast, is the freedom to act meaningfully and autonomously. If you remember, Amar Sen has given capability approach. So that is an example of positive liberty. We'll see also, we have given example also, but positive liberty by contrast is freedom to act meaningfully and autonomously, which often requires presence of enabling conditions like education, like health, like if poverty is there, anti-poverty programs. So like education, health, and economic support, etc. It emphasizes not just formal rights, but the actual capacity to utilize them. So this is crux of this argument. Actual capacity to utilize them. Thinkers like Rousseau, T.H. Green, and Amartya Sen argue that without substantive opportunities, liberty remains hollow. And I mean, this is very critical. So this is the main point in positive liberty. Now, in Indian context, B.R. Ambedkar, now we are quoting B.R. Ambedkar, also emphasized that true liberty must include social and economic empowerment, not just legal equality, because legal equality is provided by negative liberty, but by social and political interventions, or social and economic interventions, you provide or create conditions for positive liberty. So this vision is reflected in Article 21A, that is right to education, and also in the directive principles of state policy. So, I mean, basically, you have to explain most of the socio-political philosophy in the context of India. So Indian Constitution needs to be quoted, Indian Supreme Court cases needs to be quoted, and to the extent possible, Indian thinkers' views also needs to be quoted. So directive principle of state policy and right to education, which encourage the state to create conditions for equal opportunity and justice. Now, a few judgments. For example, Mohini Jain versus State of Karnataka, Unni Krishnan versus State of Andhra Pradesh, recognized education as integral to life and liberty, reinforcing a shift towards positive liberty. Similarly, welfare provisions such as midday meals or health insurance reflect positive liberty in action. So these are examples of positive liberty. In fact, these cases, the Supreme Court held much before right to education was introduced in fundamental rights, that education is very, very critical as far as liberty is concerned. Now, in conclusion, negative liberty safeguards individual autonomy from external control, while positive liberty empowers individuals to realize their potential. In a democracy like India, both forms coexist. A truly free society is one where people are not only free from oppression, but also equipped to live with dignity and purpose. So now this completes the model answer for this in about 300 words. Now let us see what question we will be taking tomorrow for discussion and giving model answer. Now the question will be from Western philosophy, because I keep on telling that we by rotation we take one section after other. So tomorrow will be turn of Western philosophy. So we'll take this question. Explain the concepts of actuality and potentiality in Aristotle's metaphysics. So I will read it once again. Explain the concepts of actuality and potentiality in Aristotle's metaphysics. Now this question we will take up tomorrow for discussion. We will provide model answer for this question tomorrow. Thanks a lot for watching today's video. We'll meet again tomorrow for discussion of this question. Thank you, one and all.